guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I was posting a bit on Instagram actually and realized that there's not a lot of like Visvim content on YouTube, which I thought was kind of interesting, given how many people seem to love the brand and everything like that. So today, I wanted to do a quick video about one of my pairs of FBTs. So these are the FBT Sashiko Folk from 2014. Apologies for the wind, it's kind of windy out here. I'm on my roof here during quarantine, so apologies, but these are my Sashiko Folk, as I said, from 2014. These came, I think, in a couple of different colors. I really liked the blue. I liked I just like kind of like natural dye and that kind of stuff. I think it's part of what Visvim really does a great job at, is the natural dye, kind of like the blue. So, as I said, 2014 release. I really liked these. I was debating getting a couple different kinds of FBTs. There's some like elk leather ones, kind of a light, almost actually this color in elk leather that I thought were really cool, but decided against those. Just really like the Sashiko on these as well. So I wanted to just show them off, talk a little bit about Visvim, about FBTs, about some of my collection. Yeah, so I'll do a bit of a close-up of these. I got these used. As you can tell, they're a little bit beat up, so I got them for just kind of like a steal. You can see the sole is pretty kind of worn, as well as the upper. You can see here that I kind of need a replacement sole at some point. These are wearing down pretty quickly, but these are just kind of like my bumming around shoe. These are great for the summer to wear just without, if you want to wear them without socks. Super comfortable, super lightweight. These are, as I said, in the blue. You can see by the toe box, or maybe you can't. There's some holes there for kind of like aeration. The flap here, as you guys may or may not know, on any pair of FBTs can be removed. So if I kind of lift it up here a little bit, you can see that you can actually remove the flap if you want to. I don't know necessarily why you would do that. I think, you know, this kind of really adds to the character of the shoe in general. I'm just going to tighten these up a little bit. Something I did notice about these, curious if anyone has any suggestions actually, is the actual color of the suede. So this is made from a UK calf suede, I believe. The suede is super soft, by the way, super supple. The coloration of the suede is a bit worn, as you'd expect from a used pair of shoes. But if you can actually see that, look at the original blue versus the kind of, you know, more dirty and gray kind of color that it's turned into. I'm curious if anyone has any suggestions as to how to get this back. I would love for them to be in this color, to be honest. I think that's super beautiful. Although that being said, the kind of dull gray blue, almost like a slate that they've turned into, is also super cool. I'm just showing the right pair, but obviously the left pair, or all the way around, I'm showing the left pair. The right pair is obviously pretty much the exact same. Something about Visvim shoes in particular that I think is cool is the fact that each season, I believe, has a different hand-painted leather tab by the tongue. So in this season, there's this kind of starburst kind of effect on the front, and then on the back, you have another kind of symbol here as well. Curious if anyone has any sort of guide as to what these mean. I have a couple pairs of Visvim shoes. I have another one here that I'm going to show you in a second. This is from 2014 as well, I believe, so it has the same leather tab. But I've seen some with like kind of a top hat looking tab. I'm curious if there's any sort of meaning, I'm sure there is, behind those. If someone has a resource, I'm super curious to see it. But these are the 2014 with that kind of symbol. Something interesting about these as well, if you've never seen a pair of FBTs, on the inside here as well, you get the little handmade tab. So these are hand sewn. All the kind of stitching around the toe box here is hand sewn. This pair in particular is made in Japan. I believe currently they make these in China. Which is nothing bad to say about China. There's amazing quality coming out of there. My bad. You guys fell over. There's some amazing quality coming out of China in terms of the FBTs. They also made these in Korea, I believe, for a matter of time. Got distracted with the camera falling over. Apologies. They made these also in Korea, as I said, for a matter of time. Currently, I believe production's in China for any current kind of editions. They have a leather kind of insole, or a half insole, I suppose. So it goes from leather to suede at the toe cap. Again, a super comfortable pair of sneakers. Would recommend buying a pair. The retail is kind of crazy on them, so I'd recommend if you can get them pre-owned. I've seen a bunch pop up on eBay and Grailed and places like that, so you can get them for a good price. Again, these are my FBTs. These are kind of just a beater moccasin. Wear them around, just kind of bumming around, super comfortable. And you can see here, there's some really great details in these. Again, I've not seen many YouTube videos about just Visvim products in general, so I apologize if this is a little bit too nerdy or in depth. You get, this kind of cross stitch on the side. The inside here is lined with leather. There's obviously rawhide leather laces on these as well. And again, that made in Japan black leather tab here as well. So these are my FBTs. Another pair that I have are these. So these are, I should have done some research beforehand. I need to double check the model name on these. But I just wanted to show in comparison, these are both suede shoes. So a note about sizing. I am a true size 10 on the Brannick device, like a 10D. These are I believe a 9.5. These ones. They fit me fine. Super comfortable. I got these before my FBTs. These are in a size 11, before I realized that Visvim footwear runs pretty big. So these are a little big on me. I have to wear them with like an insole. I can make them work, they're just a little bit big. But I just wanted to show these off as well to show some other construction and stuff that Visvim uses on their shoes. So these are also a pair of suede shoes. You can see the tab here as well, the hand-painted tab. These are super cool as well. You can see they're somewhat similar to the FBTs. They've got this kind of, this kind of draping down here. You can see here on this kind of fringy element. These are super soft. I don't know if you've ever held a pair of kind of Visvim suede shoes, but these are super soft. I think maybe the softest suede shoes I've ever felt. These are super comfortable. So these are super cool in that they have some of the similar details. You have the kind of cross stitch on the side. These have, I believe this is vintage fabric laces. So you have these beautiful, they have star detailing on them, as well as the Visvim branded, I believe they're called aglets here. The insole is also leather, kind of going to suede. As I said, I have an insole in these currently. But they also have that similar detailing. You can see going around the whole flap here is this beautiful vintage fabric. And if I lift it up, you got to see that carries over, and on the bottom there's these beautiful like flower details, which I think is stunning. I suppose you can kind of wear these like this. It looks a little bit like a boot, I guess. You can kind of do that. You can even wrap around the laces maybe like this, and then kind of tie them off. That could be kind of cool. So there's multiple ways to kind of wear, maybe something like that. Multiple ways to wear these. On some of the older Visvim footwear, I noticed that they have this kind of detail at the back. It's kind of like fringy element. I'm not sure what that represents. I think it's kind of cool. It's on both sides. Also on the back of some Visvim footwear, I don't know if they're still coming. I think on the skagways, actually, this is also a detail, but they have this hand-stitched tab at the back with this red threading. And then here's just the outsole. So you can see it's a pretty robust kind of like outsole. It says Visvim Folk and Engineering on the bottom. Something about this red stitching towards the back is that it does have a tendency to wear down. So you can see here that it's starting to kind of come apart a little bit, but that's totally fine. It's meant to be worn, it's meant to be aged. It's meant to look more beautiful every time you wear it. And that's something I really respect about Visvim and their products. They're expensive, of course, but you get to really enjoy them. You get to know that the quality is top notch and that you're really paying for that quality and for having, as Hiroki says, you know, kind of future vintage pieces. So if you go and wear these, you know, they're just so beautiful. They're gonna age beautifully. And that's something I really like about Visvim. So those are two of my Visvim shoes. I have a couple more. Have a little bit of a Visvim collection. Happy to post some more videos for you guys if you find it interesting. This is also a Visvim hoodie. This is from the Mr. Porter collaboration. I also got this brand new with tags, but a little bit under retail. It's a felt kind of pennant hoodie, so I'm also happy to review some of my Visvim kind of clothing and create a bit of a community and kind of a story across YouTube. I think it's a super important brand, especially nowadays when there's so much fast fashion, so much waste, so much that just gets thrown out or not used. I think it's a lot better to have pieces like these, or you know, my hoodie that I'm just going to be able to use for years and years and years to come, and the piece is going to get better with age. It might sound silly, but I'm kind of excited for this hoodie to even get ripped a little bit. It sounds kind of strange to say that. Because I'm excited to repair it. I have this vision of using this vintage indigo fabric and boro stitching this hoodie back together once it gets a bit worn. And I think that that's just you can't do that with a lot of cheaper pieces. They just kind of fade away, or the material just kind of disintegrates. Yeah, so something I like about Visvim. Leave a comment below. Follow me on Instagram. I post in my stories a lot, post pictures and just things in my life that I enjoy and that I enjoy using. So, you know, drop me a follow, give me a comment. Definitely want to engage with you guys about this, about other kind of pieces of content you might find interesting. Create a bit of a community during quarantine around some of the stuff that, you know, we might be able to find a bond over. So drop me a follow, comment, whatever you guys want. Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.